Glaucoma clinical trials launched in 2025, a complete overview. Introduction. Glaucoma is a leading cause of irreversible blindness worldwide, affecting an estimated 76 million people in 2020, projected to exceed 100 million by 2040. Treatment of glaucoma has traditionally focused on lowering intraocular pressure, IOP, with medications or surgery to slow vision loss. In recent years, research has broadened to include novel drug targets, sustained-release delivery systems, neuroprotective agents, and digital health tools. A 2021 analysis of trial registries found that 63% of glaucoma trials were treatment trials, mostly testing medical, IOP-lowering therapies, with only 5% targeting neuroprotection. This year, 2025, numerous new trials have begun worldwide, reflecting both that traditional focus and exciting new directions. Below, we summarize selected 2025 START trials by category, highlighting their goals, interventions, patient groups, sponsors, locations, and timelines. Notable trends and gaps in these efforts are discussed. Emerging drug therapies, GLP-1 receptor agonists, e.g. semaglutide. Recently, glucagon-like peptide-1, GLP-1 agonists, drugs already used for diabetes, have shown promise in glaucoma animal models. For example, a 2025 rat study reported that systemic semaglutide delayed IOP elevation and protected retinal neurons in an ocular hypertension model. Motivated by this, Danish investigators have launched the Absalon trial, NCT 0679242, a phase 2 study of oral semaglutide in adults with open-angle glaucoma. Sponsored by Glostrup University Hospital, Copenhagen, this trial, first posted Jan 2025, will test whether daily semaglutide can improve retinal function or slow glaucoma progression. Patients with established open-angle glaucoma or ocular hypertension are being enrolled. Results are expected in the next few years. New eye drops and supplements. Beyond GLP-1 drugs, other novel compounds are under study. For example, ocular neuroenhancement. Early trials of high-dose vitamin B3, nicotinamide, an NAD precursor, have shown encouraging retinal effects. A small trial found that 3 to 4 gram per day nicotinamide improved inner retinal function in glaucoma patients. Building on this, larger trials are underway. One American study is comparing different NAD precursors versus placebo in glaucoma patients, recruiting as of mid-2025. These studies test whether boosting retinal energy metabolism can protect vision. Other new eye drops in phase 1/2 trials include experimental IOP-lowering agents, e.g. novel prostaglandin analogs, Rho kinase inhibitors like H137, or nitric oxide donors, and compounds thought to improve optic nerve health. However, detailed results of those are still pending. Oral medications. In addition to semaglutide, other systemic drugs are being repurposed. Investigators are comparing oral supplements and metabolic drugs for glaucoma. For instance, a planned study will compare nicotinamide riboside, another form of vitamin B3, versus placebo over 2 years to see if it slows disease. A prior small trial showed visual improvements with nicotinamide. These neuroprotective strategies reflect a trend away from only chasing IOP lowering toward directly supporting retinal ganglion cells. Sustained delivery implants and devices. Timolol, sustained-release implants. To improve adherence and convenience, new intraocular implants are being tested. ID Pharma, Portugal, has initiated trials of Timod, a tiny biodegradable implant that slowly releases timolol, an IOP-lowering drug, over months. One first-in-human phase 1 study in pseudophakic glaucoma patients began in 2024, and a second was updated in mid-2025. Another ID trial, launched June 2025, is evaluating Timod in glaucoma patients undergoing cataract surgery. The implant would be placed inside the eye before inserting the lens. These studies aim to show the implant is safe and tolerated while steadily reducing IOP. If successful, a single surgical insertion could replace daily eye drops for a year. Intravitreal implants. Perfuse Therapeutics is developing PER01, a tiny pellet implanted in the vitreous. PER01 slowly delivers an endothelin receptor agonist, a potent vasoconstrictor, aimed at improving optic nerve blood flow. In a phase 1/2A trial N18, 1 per 001 implant was well tolerated, and treated eyes showed better optic nerve perfusion and visual field stability than controls. The Phase 2A dose escalation is ongoing, with 24-week data reported, showing 10% increase in nerve blood flow, and top-line results expected in Q2 2025. This is a neuroprotective approach rather than a classic pressure-lowering device. Sustained-release IOLs. Sony, Lang, and Spyglass Pharma have explored inserting intraocular lenses, IOLs, that slowly release glaucoma drugs after cataract surgery. A preliminary cohort of patients with combined cataract and glaucoma had a novel IOL delivering anti-IOP medication. At 18 months post-op, these patients achieved substantial IOP reduction, mean 11 milligrams drop, and remained off topical drops. No new post-surgical trials were launched in 2025, but this line remains of high interest. Advances in surgery and laser treatment. Microinvasive glaucoma surgery, MIGS. Although many MIGS devices, stents and shunts, are already approved, new trials continue. For example, excimer laser trabeculostomy, the Elios laser, is receiving attention. At a recent conference, researchers showed Elios significantly improved trabecular outflow in glaucoma eyes. Formal clinical trials of this laser procedure aimed at enhancing drainage non-invasively are beginning. Other device studies include comparisons of MIGS procedures, canaloplasty, trabeculotomy to each other or to standard care, though chiefly using registry real-world data rather than new randomized trials launched this year. Laser and other non-implant devices. Aside from excimer laser, several small trials are exploring novel lasers or ultrasound devices to open drainage pathways. Although details are emerging, none of these had major trial launches exactly in 2025 that we could identify. Traditional argon or SLT laser therapies remain a backbone of glaucoma care as well. Diagnostics and digital tools, AI-based screening. A major new direction is using artificial intelligence to detect glaucoma from routine eye scans. For instance, a 2025 study in Australia deployed an AI algorithm on retinal photos taken in primary care clinics. The AI correctly identified 95% of non-glaucoma eyes and 65% of glaucoma suspect eyes, showing promise as a quick screening tool. Most false positives were only 5%, suggesting few healthy eyes are misidentified as glaucoma. In general, AI-based image analysis trials are proliferating. They aim to flag patients for referral by analyzing optic nerve photos or OCT scans. Telemonitoring and home testing. Relatedly, remote monitoring is being tested. A 2025 systematic review noted that 21 studies have evaluated home teleglaucoma tools. These include smartphone apps and portable devices for home visual field testing, e.g. Eyecatcher, Melbourne Rapid Fields, VF Home, and home tonometers. The literature shows these home tests give results very similar to clinic tests. While not all are in large trials yet, some ongoing studies are integrating telemedicine into patient care pathways. These efforts could reduce travel burdens and catch progression earlier. Notable trends and gaps. Overall, the 2025 trials reflect a mix of familiar and new strategies. Traditional IOP lowering remains common, new eye drops, extended-release timolol, etc. But there is a notable shift toward neuroprotective metabolic approaches. Clinical interest in boosting retinal neuron resilience via NAD precursors like nicotinamide or GLP-1 drugs is evident. We also see more sustained delivery and combination approaches, implants, injector systems, dual mechanism drugs. Digital health trials are rising as well, aiming to leverage AI and telemonitoring for earlier glaucoma detection and monitoring. However, some gaps remain. Gene and cell therapies, widely discussed in retinal disease, are not yet in patient trials for glaucoma. No new clinical trials of gene editing, e.g. for myosin mutations, appear to have launched in 2025. Large global hypertension trials, focused on preservation of vision outcomes, are also scarce, perhaps due to the long timelines needed for visual field endpoints. Sponsors and sites. Many trials are supported by academic hospitals or biotech ophthalmic companies in North America, Europe, and Asia. For example, Denmark's Absalon trial is run by University Hospital Copenhagen. ID Pharma of Portugal is sponsoring the Timo D. Other companies leading trials include Caleris Bio, USA, Santen, Japan, EU, Alcon, Novartis, and nonprofits, e.g. Moorfields, UCL in the UK for vitamin B3. Global distribution is broad. Trials are being launched in EU, UK, United States, Canada, Hong Kong, Korea, Australia, and elsewhere, reflecting glaucoma's worldwide impact. Timelines. Most studies started in 2025 are early phase I2 or pilot trials, so results will take years. For instance, Perfuse expects its PRR001 implant trial to report top-line 24-week data by mid-2025. Many others will run 1 or 2 years before primary completion. Thus, patients and clinicians should watch for results from 2026 onward. Conclusion. The wave of 2025 glaucoma trials shows a dynamic field. On one hand, many trials still evaluate IOP lowering, just with new twists, sustained-release implants, dual-action drugs, novel surgical techniques. On the other, there is growing investment in IOP-independent strategies, neuroprotective drugs, metabolic supplements, and advanced monitoring that could transform glaucoma care. Patients should be encouraged that a rich pipeline is under study. New oral pills, injectable implants, or even AI diagnostics may become part of practice in coming years. Clinicians and researchers can use this overview to see which approaches are being actively pursued and which are underserved. The concentration of studies on novel pharmacology and digital tools suggests these are hot areas. Meanwhile, the apparent lack of gene or stem cell trials highlights a gap to address. Overall, 2025 marks a year of widening horizons in glaucoma clinical research, promising fresh therapies and approaches for this leading blinding disease. All links to sources are available in the text version of this article. You can find the full article at visualfieldtest.com. Thanks for listening. To check your visual field, click the link at the bottom of this article or visit visualfieldtest.com.